The season 19 finale doesn't begin with peace. It begins with fear, anger, and a gun pointed straight at the people we care about most. This isn't just about stolen cattle anymore. This is about survival. This is about families standing together when everything is falling apart. And what happens at that barn will change everything. The air feels heavy from the moment, Jack. Lou and Nathan step onto Wes's property. There are no sounds of workers. No sign of movement, just silence. And that silence feels wrong. They came here hoping to find answers. Instead, they walk straight into danger. Jack scans the area carefully. He has lived long enough to know when something is off. Nathan looks tense, his jaw tight. Lou tries to stay strong, but her worry shows. They move toward the barn slowly, not knowing what they will find inside. When they open the barn doors, their worst fear becomes real. Their cattle are there. The same cattle that were stolen from Heartland, some already marked, some looking stressed and confused. This is proof. Wes took them. There is no doubt now. Lou immediately pulls out her phone and calls the police. Her voice shakes, but she stays calm enough to give details. This is business. Yes, but it is more than that. These cattle are part of Heartland's survival. Losing them could mean losing everything they worked for. Then, just as they think they have control of the situation, a car pulls up outside. Wes's partner steps out. Nathan reacts fast. He moves toward him before he can escape. There is shouting. The tension rises quickly. They manage to grab him before he can run. For a brief second, it feels like they have won. But that moment doesn't last. From behind the barn, Wes appears, and he is holding a gun. Everything freezes. Jack, Lou, and Nathan slowly turn around. The mood shifts instantly from anger to fear. Wes tells them to drop their weapons. His voice is cold. There is no joke in his tone. He means it. Jack tries to reason with him. He says they only want their cattle back. No trouble. Just what belongs to them. But Wes doesn't care. He tells them they should not have come. His finger rests near the trigger. One wrong move could end in tragedy. Lou's eyes fill with fear, but she refuses to back down. Nathan looks ready to fight, but he knows that would only make things worse. Jack gives them a small look, the kind that says stay calm. Slowly they surrender. They lower their weapons. They show they are not there to hurt anyone, but the danger is still there. Wes steps closer, trying to stay in control. His partner struggles outside, trying to break free from Nathan's hold earlier. Everything feels like it could explode at any second. And then, out of nowhere, something changes. Peter peers behind Wes. Without warning, Peter swings a shovel and hits Wes hard enough to knock him down. The gun falls. The control shifts instantly. It happens so fast that no one even has time to react. Nathan quickly secures Wes's partner outside. Jack makes sure the gun is far away. Lou stands frozen for a second, trying to understand what just happened. Peter breathes heavily. He didn't hesitate. He didn't think twice. He just acted. And in that moment, he may have saved their lives. The police arrive soon after. Wes and his partner are arrested. The danger is over, at least for now. But the emotional weight of what just happened does not disappear so easily. Lou walks over to Peter and thanks him. Her voice is softer now. She knows how serious that moment was. She knows how close they came to disaster. But Peter is not smiling. He is upset. Not because he helped, but because Lou went there without telling him, because she put herself in danger, because things could have gone very differently. This is not just about cattle anymore. This is about trust, about fear, about how far someone will go to protect what they love. As the police cars drive away with Wes inside, the barn feels empty again. But the peace does not return, because even though Wes has been arrested, the consequences of this day are only beginning, and what Nathan notices inside. That barn will lead to a much bigger problem one. That hits even closer to home. Sometimes the biggest danger isn't the man holding the gun. Sometimes it's the person you trust the most. After the police take Wes away, the barn feels quiet again. Too quiet. Jack and Lou are focused on the damage. They are thinking about the cattle they lost, the money gone, and how they will recover. But Nathan is not thinking about any of that. His eyes are locked on something small. Something most people would ignore: a grain bag. At first it means nothing. Just feed, just supplies. But then something clicks in his mind. He has seen that exact brand before. The same company logo. The same stitching along the side. It's the same grain delivered to his own ranch. His heart sinks slowly. He doesn't say anything right away. He doesn't want to believe what his mind is starting to piece together. Instead, he picks up the bag, studies it quietly, then puts it down like it burned his hands. Could it really be connected? On the drive home, Nathan is silent. Jack talks about calling insurance. Lou talks about the bank, but Nathan barely listens. His thoughts are racing. When he reaches home, the mood is the complete opposite. Gracie is smiling. She is excited. She tells him that one of their biggest customers just doubled their order. She is proud. She thinks this is proof their hard work is paying off. Nathan forces a small smile, but inside, something feels wrong. He asks her a simple question. Don't you feel bad? Gracie looks confused. He reminds her that Heartland can't deliver their orders because their cattle were stolen. That is why customers are coming to them instead. Their gain is someone else's loss. For a brief second, something shifts in her expression, but she quickly brushes it off. She says business is business. It's not their fault Heartland couldn't keep their cattle safe. Nathan studies her face carefully. Is she lying? Or is he just imagining things? Later that evening, when Gracie goes outside to ride, Nathan makes a choice that hurts him deeply. He goes into her office. He doesn't want to. He doesn't feel proud of it, but he needs answers. He opens her ledgers, slowly flipping through pages, checking numbers, looking at delivery records, trying to calm his shaking hands, and then he finds it. A transport, company number. He recognizes it instantly. The same company that delivered the grain to his ranch. He searches further, checks another page, then another. The name appears clearly. Wes Kallstrom. Nathan stops, breathing for a moment. It's not a mistake. There are payments listed. Quiet payments. Hidden under normal expenses. Money transferred around the same time the cattle were stolen. His sister didn't just benefit from the theft. She helped plan it. The room feels smaller. The walls feel closer. He leans back in the chair, staring at the numbers, as if they might change. But they don't. Memories start flooding his mind. Growing up together, working the ranch, trusting each other, promising to always protect the family name. And now this. He closes the ledger slowly. Outside, Gracie laughs softly as she rides her horse. Unaware that everything is about to fall apart, Nathan steps outside and watches her for a moment. His face shows heartbreak more than anger. He doesn't want to destroy his own sister, but he also can't ignore what she has done. Back at Heartland, the family is trying to move forward. Amy is focused on Georgie. Jack is thinking about finances. Lou is worried about the future. None of them know the storm that is coming. That night, Nathan drives back to Heartland. He knows what he has to do, but before he can speak, something unexpected happens. Lindy runs up to him with a book in her hands. She asks him to read her a story. For a moment, all the tension fades. He sits down and reads to her softly. She asks him to take her to see the fireflies one day. He smiles gently and promises he will, as she falls asleep. Nathan realizes something painful. This is what family looks like. This is what he could lose if he makes the wrong choice. But protecting family does not mean protecting lies. After Lindy is asleep, he finally gathers Amy, Jack, and Lou. His voice is steady, but his eyes show the weight of the truth. Gracie was working with Wes. She paid him. She helped steal the cattle. Silence fills the room. Jack's first instinct is to call the police. Lou agrees. There is no excuse for this, but Nathan stops them. He says he has a plan, a way to fix this without destroying everything. He asks them to trust him. And in that moment, Nathan steps into a role no one expected. Not just a brother, not just a business owner, but a man ready to make. It's the hardest choice of his life. And the next day, that choice will change everything. Winning doesn't always feel like victory. Sometimes, the hardest battle isn't against other riders. It's against fear. While the adults are dealing with betrayal and business problems, Georgie is fighting a very different kind of storm. One that no one else can see. It starts during training. Phoenix approaches the jump. Georgie feels the rhythm. She believes in him. But at the last second, something feels off. The jump isn't smooth. The landing isn't clean. It's small, but to her it feels huge. She pulls back and frustration takes over. Amy watches quietly. She knows that look. The tight jaw. The silence after a mistake. She has seen it before in herself. Later, Amy talks to Georgie gently. She brings up Spartan. She explains how she noticed small changes in him before anyone else did. A little stiffness. A slower step. A feeling in her gut that something was shifting. Amy tells her that loving a horse also means knowing when it's time to step back, and that is when Georgie hears the words she doesn't want to hear. Maybe Phoenix should retire soon. The word retire hits her harder than any fall. Phoenix isn't just a horse. He is her partner, her safe place, the one constant in her life when everything else changed. When she felt alone, when she doubted herself, Phoenix was there. Georgie quickly defends him. She says he passed his vet check. She says he still has years left. She says he's fine, but deep down, she remembers that jump. She remembers the hesitation, and that scares her. Because if Phoenix slows down, what does that mean for her? The pressure builds as the jumping event gets closer. Riders prepare. Trainers give advice. But Georgie feels like she's standing on the edge of something bigger than a competition. She's already lost Quinn. That loss still sits heavy in her chest, and now she feels like she's losing. Phoenix 2. At the event. The crowd noise feels louder than usual. The jumps look higher. The course feels longer. Georgie stands beside Phoenix and whispers to him. Her voice is soft, almost shaking. I don't know if I can do this. Amy tries to encourage her. She reminds her that fear is normal. That doubt is part of growing. But Georgie isn't just afraid of losing. She's afraid of change. She tells them she wants to go home for a moment. Looks like she really might walk away. Jack watches her from a distance. He doesn't push. He knows this is something she has to choose for herself. Lou steps forward quietly. She reminds Georgie of all the times Phoenix carried her through hard days. All the early mornings, all the small wins that no one else saw. She tells her something simple. This isn't the end. It's just another step. Georgie closes her eyes, and memories start flooding back. A younger version of herself riding Phoenix for the first time. The excitement, the trust, the bond that grew slowly over the years, the falls they survived, the ribbons they earned, the tears they shared. Phoenix was never just about winning. He was about believing. Georgie opens her eyes with a new kind of calm, not fearless, but steady. She decides to ride as she enters the arena. Everything goes quiet in her mind. It's just her and Phoenix now. No past, no future. Just this moment, the first jump is clean. The second feels smoother. By the middle of the course, something changes. The rhythm returns. The trust returns. Phoenix responds like he always has. Strong, focused, loyal. The final jump approaches. Georgie leans forward slightly, whispering one more time, and Phoenix flies. They land perfectly. No faults. The crowd cheers, but Georgie barely hears it. She's too overwhelmed. Not because she won, but because she proved something to herself. She didn't run when the results come in. She finishes in first place. Jack's eyes shine with pride. Amy smiles with quiet understanding. Lou claps harder than anyone, but the real victory isn't the ribbon, it's the acceptance. Georgie finally understands that change doesn't erase the past. It builds on it. Phoenix may not jump forever. Life, it keeps shifting. But what they've built together can never be taken away. And as she hugs Phoenix tightly, she knows something important. Letting go, when the time comes, won't mean losing him. It will mean honoring everything they shared, and sometimes, that's the bravest thing of all. It wasn't the gun that shook Peter the most. It was the thought of losing Lou. After the chaos at Wes's barn, after the police cars leave and the dust settles, Peter doesn't feel relief. He feels anger. Not loud anger. Not shouting. The kind that sits heavy in the chest. Lou thanks him for saving them. She means it. Her voice is soft, almost grateful. But Peter doesn't smile. He looks at her and asks one simple question. Why didn't you tell me? Lou pauses. She says there wasn't time, that they had to act fast, that their cattle were stolen, and she couldn't just sit back. Peter listens, but his jaw tightens. He tells her he can handle her being busy. He can handle long nights and stress and business pressure, but what he can't handle is getting a call saying something happened to her. His voice cracks slightly when he says it. If you want to risk your life every time the ranch is in trouble, go ahead. But I won't stand here and watch. The words hang in the air. Lou looks hurt. She feels misunderstood. To her, this wasn't recklessness. It was responsibility. Heartland is part of who she is. Protecting it feels natural. But to Peter, it looked like she chose the ranch over her own safety. Over him. Later, when the family plans a trail ride, Peter decides to go with Georgie. He doesn't pressure Lou. He doesn't argue again. He just creates space, and that space feels bigger than the distance between two horses on a trail. Lou stays behind at first. She tells herself she has work to do, that the bank won't wait. That problems don't solve themselves. But as she watches her family ride off without her, something inside her shifts. She remembers why she fights so hard for Heartland. In the first place, it was never just about business. It was about family. And what is the point of saving something if you lose the people you love while doing it? On the trail, Peter rides quietly. Georgie talks about her event, about Phoenix, about growing up. He listens, nods, smiles when needed, but there's a weight behind his eyes. He isn't thinking about cattle. He's thinking about Lou, standing in front of a man with a gun. Then he hears hoofbeats behind them. Lou, she made a choice. She rides up slowly, not dramatic, not loud, just present. Peter looks surprised. She pulls her horse closer to his and speaks honestly. I should have told you. No excuses, no blame, just truth. She tells him she wasn't trying to shut him out. She wasn't trying to prove something. She was scared too. But fear makes her act, not pause. Peter listens this time without anger. He admits he reacted from fear, not control, not pride, fear, because loving someone means imagining life without them. And realizing you couldn't survive it, the wind moves softly through the trees as they talk. The tension slowly fades. Lou reaches for his hand. She tells him that Heartland matters, but he matters more. Peter doesn't need big promises. He just needs to know they are a team. And in that quiet moment on the trail, they find each other again. Not perfectly, not magically, but honestly, they ride side by side the rest of the way. Not ahead, not behind, together, and for the first time since the barn. Peter allows himself to breathe fully, because love shouldn't feel like a risk. It should feel like coming home. Family can forgive many things, but betrayal cuts deeper than any enemy ever could. The north fence line feels like neutral ground. Open sky, open land. no walls to hide behind. Nathan chose this place on purpose. No secrets. No shadows. Amy and Jack arrive first. Lou stands beside them. No one speaks much. They all know this won't be easy. Then Nathan pulls up. Gracie steps out of the truck. She already senses something is wrong. Nathan didn't explain much on the drive. He just said they needed to talk. The wind moves through the grass as they stand facing each other. It feels like a showdown, but not the kind with weapons. This time, the weapon is proof. Nathan doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't accuse her with anger. That almost makes it worse. He calmly tells her he knows. He mentions the grain shipments, the transport company, the payments made to Wes. At first, Gracie denies it. She laughs slightly. It's like it's ridiculous. But Nathan hands the documents to Jack. The silence that follows is heavier than any argument. Gracie's expression changes. The truth is there, written in ink. There is no way out. Jack looks at the paper slowly. His face hardens, not with rage, but with disappointment. Lou crosses her arms, hurt more than angry. Amy watches Nathan carefully. She knows what this is costing him. Gracie finally speaks. She says it was business. She says Heartland has always had the upper hand. She says she was tired of losing. Tired of living in someone else's shadow? Her words are sharp. But there is pain underneath them. Nathan steps closer. He tells her this wasn't competition. This was theft. This almost destroyed families. It could have gotten someone killed, Gracie's voice rises. She says he betrayed her by bringing everyone here. Nathan's voice breaks slightly when he answers. You betrayed us first. That sentence hits harder than anything else. Jack finally speaks. He says he should call the police. What she did was a crime. Gracie's eyes widen. This is no longer just a family fight. This is real. Nathan steps in before Jack makes the call. He says, there is another way. He already prepared papers. Gracie looks confused as he explains, she will sell half of the ranch. The money will cover the stolen cattle. It will repair the damage. It will end the partnership with Wes forever. If she signs now, Jack won't go to the police if she refuses. The law gets involved. The choice is hers. The wind seems louder. Now, Gracie looks at Nathan like she doesn't recognize him. You would do this to me? She asks. His answer is quiet. I'm trying to save what's left. Tears form in her eyes, but pride keeps them from falling. She grabs the papers. Her hands shake as she reads. This isn't just land, it's their childhood, their father's work, their shared history, and now it's being divided. For a long moment, it seems like she might refuse, but she knows he has proof. She knows she can't win this. Slowly, she signs. The sound of the pen against paper feels final. Something breaks between them in that moment. Not loud. Not dramatic, just a quiet fracture. Jack takes the papers. He says nothing more. The deal is done. Gracie turns to Nathan. Anger mixing with hurt? You chose them over me. Doesn't defend himself. He says he chose what was. Right. There's a difference. Gracie gets back into the truck. Without another word. As she drives away, Amy sees the pain in Nathan's face. He didn't celebrate. He didn't feel strong. He feels empty. Jack steps forward and shakes Nathan's hand. It's not just a thank you. It's respect. He made the hard call. He protected Heartland.